Secretary. Mr. McCaul, the Vice Chair on the Subcommittee on Western Hemisphere.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Madam Secretary, welcome. Two questions, one with respect to Iran, with respect to Mexico. You mentioned Israel prefers stability over a power vacuum, and I agree with that. I think what we're seeing in the Middle East right now is a power vacuum, and the question is who's going to fill that void. Is it going to be filled by a secular movement or by, say, forces like the Muslim Brotherhood? Or, as we look at Iran, is Iran going to take this opportunity to fill the vacuum? We know two Iranian vessels were in the Suez Canal, the first time since 1979. We support emerging democracies. I think that is the correct policy for this country. And we are supporting the forces in Egypt and Libya. But when it comes to Iran, who has, as you mentioned earlier, has oppressed its own people and fired tear gas and shot its own people, at least there's the appearance that the administration has been sort of silent on the issue. And yet I think there's a golden opportunity for us at this point in time to support the resistance movement in Iran. Why aren't we doing this more forcefully?
Well, Congressman, I would argue that we are doing it forcefully in many ways, and we will continue to do so. But I want to underscore the first point you made, which is that there is no doubt in my mind that if we are not present, and present in resources, not just in rhetoric, not just saying what we're for, but being able to deliver on that, others will fill that vacuum. The Middle East abhors a vacuum. I mean, we know that from long experience. And so while we message against Iran, if that's all we do, we're not going to be in the game. We got to be on the ground. That's why we need diplomacy and development to be viewed as national security, so that when these young people on the streets say, well, how do we write a constitution? It's the United States and our allies who are there to help, not the Iranians. But if anybody doubts that despite all of the sanctions and the best efforts of the international community to isolate, condemn what Iran has done, that they're not in there every single day with as many assets as they can muster, trying to take hold of this legitimate movement for democracy, you're sadly mistaken. We are in a competition. And I just stress that over and over again, that we got to be there. And we got to fight back.
With the limited time I have, I agree with you. I think that, you know, the diplomacy with Iran, in my view, is naive. I think that the best thing we can be doing, both from the State Department and from a intelligence effort, is to do everything within our power to support these freedom fighters who want to overthrow the Ayatollah and the mullahs, and who are oppressing these people. Moving to Mexico, we had two U.S. law enforcement agents for the first time in 25 years shot in an ambush that 83 rounds from an AK-47 after they said they were American diplomats. Now the Mexican government seems to be saying it's a case of mistaken identity. I personally don't buy that. I'll take the testimony of our agent over the 3 Zetas now in custody who are talking about the incident. And my question with respect to the State Department is several. The Merida initiative that we passed in the Congress had $1.3 billion to provide primarily military assistance, and yet only 25% of that has gone to that assistance in Mexico. The rest seems to have been bottlenecked up in the State Department. And I was hoping you could explain why, and perhaps give me your assurance that we're going to try to move that money as quickly as possible. 2 more quick items. Extradition. I hope this administration fights hard to get these killers extradited to the United States. And then lastly, there's a 1990 agreement that prohibits our law enforcement in Mexico when we put them down in a war zone, as President Calderon calls it, and we don't allow them to carry weapons. I would like this administration to revisit that agreement in light of the new conditions down in Mexico. And with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, and thank you for raising Mexico, Congressman, because, again, this is an area that doesn't get enough attention, and there it is right on our border. You know, the U.S. Congress has appropriated $1.5 billion since the Merida initiative began in fiscal year 2008, and by the end of 2011, we expect to have obligated over half of this funding. Your question is a fair one. Why does it take so long? The complexities of negotiating technical requirements with Mexico, what we expect to get for our money, what we expect from them when we give them our money, and the need to ramp up staffing to support a program of this magnitude has taken time. But we have also decided that what works best is providing professional training, which we're doing for 4,500 New Mexican police investigators, training for 3,000 Mexican prosecutors. We will give you chapter and verse about what we're doing.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Thank you. And I'm pleased to yield 5 minutes to Mr. Higgins of New York.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
First, hello to everyone in Buffalo, and tell them I miss them too. 25. They are totally ill-prepared to educate those people, provide them health care, guide them to the kind of future that we would like to see for them, which happens to be in our interests as well. So we have focused on trying to figure out how best to message to young people. That's why I set up this unit inside the State Department about how we use social media, how we try to connect. You know, there I am doing web chats. I mean, we're trying to do everything we can to go where people are getting their information and to put the American story out there. We did such a great job during the Cold War. As I said, they're filling it with Al Jazeera, Spirit, and
you don't need a translator for that decision.
I say that we monitor this situation very closely. We try to investigate all of the assertions that are made. We know that adequate food and fuel under our supervision and pushing gets in, but we also know there are constant propagations that exist. So we are in a daily dialogue with the government of Iraq, with the United Nations, and we will continue to do everything we can to protect them.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.